Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from hearing horror stories. Get the gasoline, won't be at the.
Hey guys, welcome back to Take a Wide. This is episode 211. These episodes are always brought to you by Dave Levitt Photography.ca. He is an old friend and he hosted these files way back when. He's a great photographer. He does some sweet music videos. If you're around Cambridge, 519 Toronto area, get a hold of Dave and he'll take some good photos for you and he'll do some good work for you. Examples would be Sabatini's Guest of Honor, Fuck the Facts of Solitude. He did Gerbert's Thunder Statement. He is just a really old friend and I'll always show him love. So show him some love. Dave Levitt Photography.ca. Also brought to you by Dapper Beard Oil. That is a beard oil company based out of Ottawa, and my friend Andrew runs it. He has 3 distinct types, which I don't have the information. Let me just get the information and not be a chump about it. He was on episode 77, I believe, and he really is doing something rad with his beard oil company in just trying to make an income doing something creative and original. And he has here we have the Gold Tusk, which is a spicy, fresh, earthy undertone type. He has the Black Tusk number 2. It's a smoky cedar and cypress smell. There's a scent free. I think at least for myself, I drool a lot in my sleep. Maybe that's too much information, but a beard oil like this will help with that. It helps hydrate. It helps reduce dandruff. All ethically sourced natural ingredients. And if you guys use Take or Wide free ship, that's the promo code, you will get free shipping on your beard oil. So if you're interested, just go to dapperbeardoil.com. And even if you want, just hit pause right now. And in the description of the episode, the link should be there. And just go browse, at least. Go check it out and see what he's about. That's, Andrew Rashad at dapperbeardoil.com. Also brought to you by Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota in Kitchener. Kevin is a really old friend of mine. I've known him pretty much since I moved down to this area. And I think it's a terrifying idea to trust someone with a lot of money when you're buying a vehicle. And if you are looking for a suggestion, I would suggest Kevin. Honest man, family man. I don't know what else really say to convince you guys to go see him. But if you're out in Kitchener, stop by and make mention of the show. He's helping me out, so it'd be cool if you help him out. Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota. And lastly, Wellington Brewery out in Guelph. They are the supporters of this podcast by giving me the liquid courage to ask some of these silly questions. And they have a new beer. It is a Celeste, I believe. I'm just looking it up right now. Wellington. Should have fucking prepped for this, eh? Fucking Christ. Here we go. It is. Sorry for the dead air, guys. I'm fucking tired, and I've said that before, but I actually am. Here we go. Queen of Craft. It's a grisette. It refers to a French working class woman from the late 17th century, and is also a traditional farmhouse style table beer. It's brewed using 100% Ontario hops, generously donated by Clear Valley Hops. And the biggest takeaway from this, me blabbering right now, is that this Queen of Craft grisette, 25 cents from each can sold will be donated to the Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis. So that's pretty fucking dope of them to do. So yeah, go and grab it. Go and taste it. I didn't taste it for this episode because I actually didn't have the re-up, but I am going to for the next one. I'm going to have a little sample of it. So yeah, that's Wellington Brewery. Long fucking intro to this one. So for 211, I spoke to Scott Rebelo. Scott is a Cambridge musician. He plays in Frank Dux. He used to play in Persona. He used to play in Extinct or Alive, which some of you would know, some of you might not know. But Scott is half of Pink Lemondade Records, and they helped Rebelo put out the CD version of the album. So it was nice to catch up with him. We kind of talked about, I guess, his absence from the scene because he had a couple kids, and it's nice to see him around a lot more and catch up. And this was a great catch-up episode, and we talk about the scene back in the day and just, being a parent and all the stuff, all the Taker-wide stuff. So this is 211 with Scott, and I hope you guys enjoy.
SPA.
Delicious. I was thinking on the way here, just how it's nice to, I get to see a lot of you.
Yeah,
it's
for
awesome.
Sure.
I feel like when I came to Cambridge, there's obviously like a few select dudes like you and the Elder Burden guys that represent a scene, that represent like new friends.
Yeah.
And our lives, we have kids and this and that.
Absolutely.
But like as of late, and I guess people who aren't familiar, like Rebelo is half of Pink Lemondade Records that helped put out the Rebelo shit. So it's just nice. Like, it's obviously great that you helped us put it out.
Oh, absolutely. We
it's
were
nice
just so
to see
happy
you.
that you guys asked us to do it, right?
Man.
Just be in Cambridge and
It's really rad just to be our age and still
yeah.
doing it, and for you guys too to take on this new sort of thing to support.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not like it's going to be just local stuff, but it's something. It's something.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And it's just kind of one of those things where it's I don't know, we're bored. You live in Cambridge. It's a highway town.
Yeah.
It's industrial. It's just, that's what it is. You work here. It's a great place to raise a family, nice and quiet and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But just, we wanted to bring something back to this town. It's just crazy to think that my son won't have the way the kids are kind of coming up now is there's really no shows in this town for kids to go to.
Yeah,
And
it's
you just want to create something for them. I remember going to my first show at the Refugee Cafe, and you see a band like Lisp, and a band like Keener and Dribble Bib, and it was just
I've never heard of those guys.
I want to be in a band. This is what I want to do. These guys are rock stars, and then you just kind of translated it back to high school, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just so bored of living in Cambridge, and I took a good 5 years off just playing music altogether.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to think back to it. Because when I moved here in 2003, who were you playing with? Was it Persona then, or was it something else before?
I had myself, Mark Snyder, and Sean Reeves. We had a punk band called 24 Hour Barbershop.
Okay.
It was a 15-minute set, and it was
Was that before Sasha's accent?
after.
Because I missed a bunch of shit.
See, Sasha's accent was that was time, man. That was that was the OG, man.
That's high school?
18, 19 years old, first, actual, crazy band where we wanted to try and do something with it. You always had your high school stuff. My first band, Donkey Schlong Country.
That's what it was called?
Yeah, we're called Donkey Schlong Country. It was me and a guy named Mike Meacher. Plays in the Mudmen now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, used to work at Long and McQuaid.
Huh.
Played in, what were they called?
The Mudman.
Yeah, he's in the Mudmen
Jeez.
now, which is crazy. It's some guy I grew up with and pretty much taught me how to write music is playing with the Mudmen now.
I thought you were trying to describe the sound of the music, it's Donkey Schlong Country.
Yeah.
That could be a descriptor.
Literally, we covered Fly by Sugar Ray. And we had an original that we'd wrote. And then from there,
So
we started a band called No One in Particular. And it was just kind of like a pop punk alternative type thing.
Mm.
And then after that was Sasha's Accent, man. That came out. And
then Persona.
yeah, Persona,
And
Extinct or
then
Alive was the
Extinct or
same
Alive.
project. We
Yes.
just had to change our name because iTunes came out and there was a band that pretty much took our name on us.
Were
so.
they from Turkey or something?
I can't remember.
Because I was trying to pull up some old Persona stuff, and the only thing that I tried Googling MySpace Persona and well, mostly just that because that's about the era, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't find anything. I found a band from Turkey. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think that's why we changed it. It was some band. And then it was 5 years off after Extinct or Alive. Pretty much Ethan was born in 2010, we had about another year run at it, and then it was just one guy wanted to move on, and he was kind of the voice of the band, and we just kind of break time.
Yeah, well, I have a bunch of questions that I kind of prepped. One of them was that, like, when you slowed down, like, was that because you had a kid, right? So was it kind of like a hard pill to swallow, or was it kind of a relief?
It was, I don't know. It was kind of a hard pill to swallow for me. Like, pretty much as soon as I was like Sasha's accent on, it's like I wanted to be in a band. Like, yeah, I was going to college and stuff, appeasing my parents, but you know, in the back of my mind, the doodles in the notebooks were always like merch ideas or just whatever, you know. So it was rough, you know. It was a long 5 years.
Yeah,
and it kind of felt like just kind of dejected, you know, just kind of not myself for 5 years. I knew I had responsibilities as a parent. Started a new job that put me on night shift, so it was just like, you know, there was no time to jam. There was no money to jam with a new kid and all that, and new responsibilities, home ownership and all that.
It's hard.
All that adult stuff. But, you know, 5 years, and then kind of just got a jam hall. And
was it I guess during that time, like, did you play at all, or was it kind of like, well, did you know you were going to play again, or like during that time, were you practicing or writing, or was it just kind of other focuses?
I was just kind of noodling around on the guitar, but you know, you always have the kids around, and then as soon as you pull out the shiny guitar,
you have two, right?
Yeah, I have two now. Yeah. So there's no baby in the world that as soon as you pull out your instrument doesn't want to touch it, you know? So as soon as I'd pull that guitar out, I'd have like a kid hanging off of me, just like, let me touch. And it's like, I just want to play my guitar.
Yeah, you just need to riff.
It was put away for, I'd say I didn't touch my guitar for probably 2 years.
Yeah.
Just sat there. And it was tough. But responsibilities, taking care of kids. And
yeah, well, 2 kids. Like, I have the one, and I it's like I think of, there's a Tom Segura, you know, the comedian?
Yep.
He's got a bit, some sort of thing where he's talking about having a kid, and he's talking about moments. And it's like, you just have moments where you have a sip of a nice beverage, and he's like, that's delicious. That moment is now done. And you get back to raising your kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel that where I try to manage my time, and it's tricky with one, like not, let alone 2, and
2 is wild,
being an
man.
adult and having to pay your.
Like, I used to work night shift, and my wife would work pretty much during the day. So I would get home from work, and I would stay up pretty much until 2, 3 in the afternoon, and I'd watch the kids. Then I'd go to bed, and I'd get up at 11, go to work, and just free babysitting, right? Like, it just
and like, it takes energy to come and practice and to be creative.
For sure.
So fuck. So I guess the kids got to a point where they were old enough, and you're like, you know, I guess what's the transition back into band life?
Well, I started playing again with Hammond and Johnny. We rented down here in this beautiful hall.
You were in this one?
Yeah, I was for like, I don't know, it was like, what, 6, 7, 8 months or something like that? Maybe a year.
Yeah.
I was in this hall.
Yeah, fuck.
And then, so it was just a cover band thing. Like, we learned 15, 20 punk songs, and we jam on Tuesday nights, just screw around. Whatever, so that got the itch going a little bit.
And was that because you had more free time? Or
Definitely more free time. Like, the kids were a bit older. The wife was, you know, back to work. Everything was back in like a schedule, and she just knew that, you know, she's a good lady, man.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Like, you know, she appreciates that I love it, and she allows me to do it because
some people don't.
Makes me a better person.
Man, I feel
I'm so much happier now that I've like gotten into a band again, and just like we're doing our thing, and it just,
you can't deny all from the time you're a teenager to whenever how much of your identity it is, right?
Yeah.
And it's so, like, I can't shut that off. I could never just shift gears when, like, for years, you know, you like, you're drawing, like, same in high school. I was writing Korn on my binder, and
your
like
band name, whatever you got,
stuff. So from then to, you know, into your adulthood, it's such a huge part of your identity, and it bums me out when I see, and even when I like when I stop seeing you, like, it bums me out because I get it. It's like, man, he's like down, busy, and it must suck to like not be able to do that.
Absolutely, and it's just like, you want to go to shows and support the scene, but it's like,
You're tired.
tired, 10, 15 bucks every show.
Yeah,
And it's
man.
like, man, I really wish I could afford to go to this, but I can't. And but you know, it is what it is. You go to the ones that you really want to go to.
Yeah.
But now it just, it's back.
It's great, man.
It's back.
That's so cool, man.
Bitch.
It must be, and even I see you guys all these shows coming up, and I guess so. I'm kind of jumping all over here,
That's
but
all right.
So you were doing the cover stuff with the boys down here,
Yep.
and
then basically we stopped. It was just commitments for others. Like everybody had a family. So we kind of just tailed off, and then that stopped. To stop paying rent here. And then I was working night shift again still. And then Countryman Joel, he worked at Loblaws. He's actually who got me into the position I got.
oh word,
He
what
was
do you do? What's your
I
gig?
work inventory control for
Okay.
Loblaws.
All right,
Bleh, fuck the man.
it's a job, man.
Yeah, pays the bills,
90
great benefits.
Man, 99% of work sucks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's work.
Everyone's generally working some
Anybody who
bullshit
says they
job.
love work is lying to themselves. So
It's like what? No, you're not a.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Come
So
on,
it's a
yeah.
gig, it
So
pays
yeah,
the-
so me
pays
and
the
Joel
bills.
were just hanging out, and we'd flirted. Like we were both in bands. I was in Sasha's Accent back in the day. He was in a band called Veal Gluck.
I'm not super familiar with Joel. Like,
Yeah.
is he
was-
younger or older?
He's younger. I think he's, I don't know. He's about 3 years younger than I am, maybe.
Okay.
So he's younger. So, but yeah, he had a band called Veal Gluck back in the day. We were both part of HTMS back in the day when we were kids, and we've just always known each other. So when we reconnected at Loblaws, like obviously we both love punk music, and we were just kind of joking, hey, let's start a band. You know, we should start a band. And then I got a lock on a jam hall, and Butler, our drummer, I was like, hey man, you play drums, like you want to get in on a jam hall, like it's just a place to put your gear.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, you can go there whenever you want. Maybe we can just fuck around. Who cares, right? And then we got together and we brought Hammy in, and then once again back to the cover songs. We were jamming twice a week,
Yeah.
about a couple hours, 3 hours. We learned about 16, 17 punk cover songs from No Effects to Taking Back Sunday to Green Day to whatever. And then one day we showed up with a riff, and
So
I guess, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so it never was it really the goal to be an original band?
No.
It wasn't, eh?
We were gonna be a cover, like we were just
Just
gonna
have
play
some
covers and
fun.
have fun, and then we kind of just flirted with a riff, and we started writing, and I was just like, hey, like,
That's cool.
you guys want to be weekend warriors? Like, we'll just say no to every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday
Yeah,
show,
yeah,
and
yeah.
if anybody wants us to play Friday and Saturday, we'll just
Yeah.
do it. Like,
Yeah.
what else are we doing? Like,
Hell yeah, that seems like just so realistic
Yeah.
to be older and still be writing original music, and
Yeah.
you know, you can still be doing cover band stuff and do the same thing, but yeah, a weekend warrior type thing, there's no knocking it.
it's the shit.
It is.
It's
Well,
the
even
shit.
for like, it's been a minute since we really myself have been out, but these little one-offs that me and Mark do fucking
They're great.
rule.
Yeah, they're awesome. Like, it's
Ah, I can have dinner, like I can go out eat
exactly
a dinner
It's-
out.
It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You got your family life, you got your work life.
Yeah,
But then Friday, Saturday night, hey,
go.
like we got a show. You
yeah,
know?
go be 20 again.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go be a young guy, balding a bit, but whatever.
Oh
you know?
man, it's fucking awesome though. I can just I remember, man, moving. I remember when I was driving my van with Kipes with Joe
Yeah.
here, and how excited I was to do this shit.
Yeah,
Knowing that, not knowing, but hoping that I'd do it for a long time. But like, I get bummed out when I see old heads really kind of going hard. I just think of this one show in Hamilton I played,
Yep.
and I've talked about it before, where this guy probably in his fucking 50s, old haggard guy, maybe some sort of legend dude from something,
Yeah.
but like playing in Hamilton to like 15 people,
yeah.
and it's like,
Just
oh my
giving her.
god, that's super gnarly. And I think a good balance is important, because I don't want to be eating shit into my 50s.
No.
You know, like quote unquote trying to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it, or obliged to some company or something to,
Yeah,
do it. I don't want to do that. So I just remember moving here and being excited to be part of the scene. And then even now, like, and I see a few grays on me, and I'm like proud to still be playing
Yeah.
this shit.
For
and
sure.
and my grays pew, are starting to come out, and it's really fucking rad, man.
Yeah.
And again, like, just to reconnect,
Yep.
and even get in on this and talk about music and stuff with my older friends, And I'm also excited too because you threw that show here in Cambridge.
Yeah.
There's all these young kids coming out.
Yeah,
like your
man.
son and my son.
Yep.
And I harp on it a lot, but like for you, I guess it must be, like you said, you have a balance of both. Like you're probably content, or do you guys want to tour and stuff? Like
like a tour, like Joel's a teacher, Sean has kids, he has 2, I have 2, Chris has 1. So we discussed from day one, like touring, unless we're making cake and it's like, Lagwagon's like, yo, we want to bring you guys on tour, then maybe you sit there and seriously think about it. But even then, like, it's like, like, I got to be making money, man. Like, I got a mortgage to pay, dude.
Yeah. Well,
so the cool thing with us is that, like, we've put $25 into this band each. That's it. We don't count our jam hall rent. That's just like we count that as a living expense in your own personal life. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we put $25 into it when we released our demos, and everything we've released and done has been paid for by shows. It's like, it's hilarious. Like we say it all the time. 10 years too late. Like, you know what I mean? Like if this was 10 years ago, we'd be taking a run at it. Like, But now it just seems, it's the nostalgia thing. Like, punk is coming back.
Well, that's interesting because you guys kind of, what would you describe? I would describe it as kind of, it's punk. It's not. I don't know if it's pop punk.
We call it melodic punk, skate punk.
Okay.
Like it's everywhere.
Now, I've never really been a punk guy.
Yeah.
And I don't I know some bands, but so what you guys are playing, is that like a resurgence, or has it always been around? Because like.
It's kind of always been around. I just find like lately, it's everything's cyclical when it comes to music. Mm-hmm. Like it comes in and out, right? And it just seems like the punk scene died in terms of punk probably in 2002, 2003, unless you were like a major band. And then it went into that whole screamo, emo.
So what are some bands like from that time, like near the end of, I guess, in your mind, like when punk was starting to die? Because I don't even fucking know.
Like you would say, like Belvedere was around back then. You had Choke still kicking around a little bit until about 2004. Huh. So there's just all these bands that we like that, but they were on labels and they were promoted. In terms of local, it died. Like locally, punk kind of died. Everybody went into metal, like.
Huh. I guess
it was Tugnut's fault.
It was our fault.
You guys moved into this city, you just took it the fuck over, man. Which was sick though. Like
it's a good, interesting point, because when I moved here, I had heard all these like Lisp and Slim Pickens and Chubb and like, but I guess those were all like kind of punk bands, right?
All punk bands.
So Cambridge was kind of like a punk city.
Cambridge had a punk scene going, man, a big time punk scene, and this goes back to like the 90s. Like you had bands like Bun and Here Comes Jim and Dribble Bib. There's like all these bands that like nobody's ever heard of, dude. But it's like that was our influence. Like we saw punk bands. Like you go to the Refugee Cafe, you were catching a punk band, man. And like,
so what was your first show like? Because, man, I grew up in such a small town. We didn't have
shows. Or anything like that,
we were a band, and we brought in some rad bands, but unless we were doing the show, there was nothing. Like, and it seemed like, Cambridge had older dudes
for sure.
who were having a go at it. Because I even remember, I think Lisp went on tour or something, and that was like, whoa, a big kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because they were like local dudes.
Went out west, I think they even went out east a couple times.
So, like, when you're a kid, like, these older, so who were these older bands?
Pretty much it was like Bun, Lisp, going into the time capsule here. I remember Bun, I remember Lisp, and then
Trebendel maybe?
Trebendel was a big band in town.
People listening to this would be like, who the fuck are these bands?
Yeah. Just like, check out all these bands, they'll blow your mind.
It's like you said, how do you say it?
Cyclical.
Like,
it just always comes back around, man.
There's like older heads coming in, and like had I stayed at home, I honestly think I can't think of another like original band from emo Fort Francis that did anything. I don't think anyone did anything. And even to this day, there's nothing going on there.
No, they got that mall. Didn't it like collapse or something in some like earthquake?
Man, that. Did you guys tour?
Persona toured. Yeah,
Persona
we
toured?
We did a month tour across Canada.
So you did go out west.
Yeah, we went out west. Like that was we did 29 days. We had 19 shows we played across Canada, which was sick.
Well, I'm just thinking, so you could kind of think of Northwestern Ontario if you guys went out west, and that is such a void.
Oh, it's insane.
And there was nothing.
20 hours to get out of Ontario. It's nuts, dude.
There was nothing happening there, and I just think of. I love hearing like Mark and you guys talk about the scene here because I missed it.
Yeah,
we had a.
You guys came and you guys had the good taste, and that's when brought on the 69 pickups and the parking lot, and it's just like Cambridge got oversaturated. Like the scene was bumping, and it kind of hit this nice peak, and then it was just everybody's a promoter, everybody wants to throw shows, and it was like you had a show at the Scout Hut, you had a show at 69 pickups and the parking lot all in the same night, and you're just like
crazy. How did that happen?
Plus Kitchener, plus Guelph, and it's just like, whoa, is there really this many bands around? Like, but there really was, right?
I'm trying to think when, in your head, when did it peak? When did it start to die out? I
don't know, man. I'd say the peak in Cambridge.
06? 05?
I'd say earlier than that, man.
Yeah?
Like 99, 2000.
Word.
Was like, it was dope. Like, we've always had Rock the Mill here. Like, you know, like that. Cambridge is always kind of, as far as I've always known and lived in this city, it's always had like arts. Folk festival's been a thing. You got Rock the Mill. You got... You know, there was Forbes Fest for a little while there.
Forbes Fest.
Oh, you guys not around for that?
No.
So when HTMS first started,
so HTMS is Hespler Teens Music Society.
So yeah, we were funded by the city. It was started by Mel Cheater, and basically she came up with.
Thought that was a band.
No. Her name's
Mel.
Word. Her name's Mel, and a girl named Beth Ann, and I went to high school with them. And they were into social, like, they were into just
doing something
for kids, right? So they came up with a grant. They petitioned to the city.
Wow.
They got permission from the city to run this friggin' group that just wanted to bring affordable $5 shows to kids. Like, just give us something to do because we got nothing.
It's amazing that the city would like good on the city for doing that back then, man.
You got to promote the arts, man. It's just like life can't just be about 9 to 5 going to the going to work and grinding. Like art is important. Like,
oh man, it's hilarious to think of that time when the city was funding kids to throw shows to today where our show got canceled
pretty much
so we'll just quickly tell that story where so Rebelo, okay, Jesus Christ, so the Scout Hut is this venue in Cambridge. I feel like Protest played there back in the day before they blew up. Like
Protest played there after they blew up too, man. That show was nuts, dude. That show, I think that's one of the shows that ended it all, man. Boys Night Out has played there. Like, there was some dope bands that came through that place.
It was kind of a staple in Cambridge for dope little shows, and basically Rebelo, it just kind of got unearthed almost.
Yeah.
In the December, did they do that first show? Yeah,
we did one in October last year. It was
you were part of that too.
Yeah, the Return of the Hut, man. That was the one. That was the first one.
So I guess I'll just I'm terrible at telling stories, but the show got canceled because the city found out that it was. That you were throwing a show there.
Well, no, they knew, like, from day one when I contacted the city for the first one, I told them straight up, like, this is a live music event.
Okay.
But it's private.
And you had to say that, why?
Because they didn't want public just being able to come in. Okay. The venue only holds 90 people, so there's fire codes.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. They just didn't want it to be like this.
Yeah,
crazy, insane
liability
for the city. So I pitched it to them as a private event, like a stag and do. I sell tickets, and I told them I sell tickets just to cover costs.
Yeah,
no one makes money.
Yeah,
like it's 100% nonprofit.
Yeah,
the money goes to the bands. like 100%.
Uh-huh.
I take $350 to pay for the venue.
Uh-huh.
We get the PA donated. We get everything donated. People donate their time and help along.
So they knew it was a show,
Yeah.
but they thought it was a...
They knew it was a show, but it was a private event. And the stipulation for the private event is I just couldn't advertise it on posters or say anything on the internet. So we
Fuck.
got away with the exclaim one, which I don't know how, which is hilarious, right? But go figure. They post the show in the Cambridge Times. And, of course, the city worker is going to read the Times. And she read that the show was advertised as public. And she kind of canceled it. But the city was super nice about it. Like, she even called me on the phone and said, like, don't look at this in a negative light. Like,
After she canceled it?
yeah, after she canceled
Okay.
it. She goes, it's not 100% canceled. We are just looking into if you have to hire security or fill out another form because it's a special event. So I just did some damage control and just said, hey, like, the only reason there's tickets is because we need to cover costs.
Yeah.
Like, this obviously costs money.
Yeah.
And basically I just said, I sell 70 tickets. Like, that's all I allow so that we stay under capacity.
Yeah.
That was a lie. We were definitely over capacity at the last show, but it was mad fun.
Oh, well, it's just, it's hilarious that, so yeah, so we knew it was a kind of hush-hush thing,
Yeah.
but to the degree not too sure. And of course, like, we choose to work with a PR guy. Like,
Yeah.
all love to Asher Media. They did a really great job.
Killed it.
And they got us like this big fucking full page thing in the Cambridge Times.
Telling you right now, Grabert is blowing the fuck up on college radio, dude.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting number 22.
Yeah, it's cool.
Number
man.
22 in the top 50 of all genres.
That's really dope.
Like,
yeah, it's
and like
kinda
you
crazy,
look at the
actually.
list and you're seeing like bands, bro. Like, we're talking majors. Like,
Well, yeah, it's really
it's crazy.
Homie did a great job.
Oh,
and
he killed him, man.
but we had to laugh, just like this hush hush show gets a huge thing
Yeah.
in the Times, and I'm just tying it back to the city HTMS funding these kids to throw a
Yeah,
show
yeah.
to a couple of weeks ago,
For sure.
where they're gonna pull the plug on a show.
Yeah.
Things have changed so much. There's,
Absolutely.
like, they might tout the like arts and shit like that, but it's
But it's arts. Like, they run through SoCan too. Like, we almost had to pay a SoCan fee for this last rental. And I was just like, yo, man, we're not playing no cut. Like, we're not up here covering Bee Gees or nothing, man. Like, you're not collecting money for anybody.
It's interesting because the stuff we do, the underground sort of scene, it's not pro, but it is pro.
pro, man. It's pro, man.
And-
Anybody who says it's not pro is just an industry fucking,
Yeah, well, it's,
you know,
it's
like,
at this point, trying to do it as pro as we can, just on the whole SoCan
Yeah.
thing. It's funny because we'll play venues that are SoCan enabled, and we get paid because we play a SoCan like a type of venue.
Absolutely.
So it's tricky to do this type of stuff.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like, you want to throw a show, but you have to kind of tiptoe around it.
Yep.
Because it's not a fucking folk thing. It's punk rock.
It's punk rock.
Which-
But whatever. I don't know. Like, we just tried to revive it, and, you know, we live in Cambridge.
It's really cool. And I guess we could talk about even the whole. It kind of would make. I think the answer's already in my head. Where it's
Yeah.
like, I want the scene to come back. So
Yeah,
let's
for
try
sure.
the
try
hut.
it.
Did you try the Scout Hut first, or did you do other venues first?
We just
or-
tried the Scout Hut first.
You were just like, fuck it,
Fuck
let's try it.
Let's put all our eggs in one basket. That was it. Like, Jacob from Block Parent and Zach and Jake and me and Joel, like, we've been meeting all kinds, and it's always been when both our bands kind of are coming up together, we've always been like, hey, let's try this Scout Hut thing. Like, we got to plan this, we got to do this, and we kind of put it off and put it off and put it off, and then finally I just said, fuck it, I'm booking a date.
Yeah.
October fucking 28th. Like, this is the day. Like, we are either gonna fucking shit or get off the pot, because it's not gonna do it itself. Like,
it was. I popped my head in for the first show.
Yeah.
And then both of them were fucking great shows.
man.
And I was
sold out both shows.
Man,
the first one sold out in 24 hours, dude. It blew my mind. I was just like, how did we just sell 90 tickets in 24 hours? Like, this is fucking insane.
I think that first one, I wasn't surprised it sold out
Yeah, no.
because it had been like 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was funny going to that show because it was like dudes from the scene
Yeah.
and their kids.
Yeah.
Like, but I was honestly like, because so Greber's Greber, we're old. We're not connected to the youth really. So we're not gonna draw a ton of kids, and all the other kind of bands. It's not like there's a huge draw for that show. So I was really surprised that many people came to the show.
Yeah, it was. I was.
It was
worried.
great.
I was worried.
Hey,
Like,
well, it makes sense.
we booked it, and I was like, all right, like. I knew you guys would draw. Like, I knew at least I could think of 20 people
I could say that number
in
20.
this town.
Yeah, I would say
that were going to show up to see you guys play just for being buds and, just buds alone. I knew
but you need...
So our whole thing with this is we're trying to convince as many old bands to try and just, come on, just give it one more kick. So like 1 Point Lost, for instance, like those guys were big into the Scout Hut scene. Like they played with Sasha's Accent. We partied together.
See,
like,
that was way before my time.
Yeah, way. 1 Point Lost was way. That was the Forbes Fest times where we used to have a festival in the park, dude. The city would give us Forbes Park for a day, and we would just have local bands play on that bandstand, and then we would have like, I think we had Vacuity headline one year, which was a crazy old band from back in the day. We had Class Assassins from Toronto come up and headline one year.
Nuts, man.
Like, yeah, it was cool, right? So like the scene in Cambridge was just bumping. Everybody wanted to be in a band, man. You had like,
it seemed that when I moved here, like there was this jam hall, that jam space, a ton of bands, and like the scene was like going
for sure.
Jesus Christ, like so there was us, there was fucking Kramer, there was Single Threat, there was Disgust, there was like handicap parking,
System 23, Mortimer. Like there's some crazy bands, dude. Veal Gluck.
And
who
like
else
how
did they
many
have?
bands are there now? You know what I mean?
You know what? Actually, on Facebook, there's a Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo punk hardcore metal page.
Is there a
type
page?
thing.
Oh, I didn't
there's
know
a
that.
page. It's run by Brian Sheed from Chainsaw. He plays in.
From the venue, Chainsaw?
Yeah. Big Brian. He's got big old dreads.
Well, who does he play with?
He plays with Monarch Woods and Bad Egg. He's in Walton's new band with Stacy. He's the bass player.
We're playing with them this Saturday.
Yeah. Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he started like a thread, and it's just like city, genre, bands.
Huh.
Fuck, dude, there's probably like 100 bands on that list, man. I was just like...
Really? From around here?
Yeah, man, from
like
Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo, man. I was like,
wow.
Where did all these bands come from, man? Like, and you
Really?
know what? I probably attested to that. I've been out of the scene for so long and just not paying attention, and they've always been around, and they've always been grinding.
You know
what I mean?
it.
And that's probably what it is, right?
Yeah.
So,
we're a bit ignorant in our older age.
Absolutely. You just stop caring sometimes, right? You just
Well,
like
it's not, we care,
but
just,
I got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old that are running around.
We're not connected,
you know?
man.
Yeah, just
there's
it's a separation. Once you have kids and you got that like adult life,
responsibilities.
it's like,
yeah.
Man, like, like I was talking to Block Pair, and they're like, yeah, man, we start jamming at like 5 o'clock. I was like, 5 o'clock? Like, I'm like cooking dinner, doing dishes, like telling kids to stop fighting.
Yeah, but I kind of feel, I used to be so, I didn't know how this life was, this sort of family home life was, because I never experienced it. I had a version of it in my head that was like, that sounds terrible. But until you have it, it's like, oh, this is the sweetest fruit ever.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I'm glad I didn't sell myself short to be open to that idea. Because I was like on the fence, man.
I was a no kid guy.
Well,
I was a like.
I was almost like
no kids.
Yeah.
I have life plans. I have life goals. Like I want to tour. I want to get a job as a roadie when I'm not playing with my own band. Like I just want to grind, and then it just like. You know, one unprotected sex session, and
well, man, you can plan as much as you want for life, and the beauty I think sometimes are life will throw you things that maybe you're not prepared for. Because really, I was
but
like,
they're great.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for a kid or a mortgage or what I thought was like the world crushing me and not letting me play.
Yeah,
but fucking, it's like again back to that balance thing. It's been it's best of both worlds.
Yeah,
I can
for sure.
fucking. Oh my God, man! Some of the best shit is being stoned off my ass, in my bed that's comfy,
Yep.
watching Netflix, eating popcorn.
Yeah, just chilling.
Safe,
Straight chilling.
Full of food.
Yeah, man.
And then also like, you know, playing to 15 people in St. John with Mark. Like,
For sure.
I still have.
For sure. No, and that's the big thing, right? It's like you really like.
But it was
Man.
a risk you have to take.
Yeah, you got to take it.
Like I at least did, and
It's life experience, man.
Maybe it sounds like you too, where it's kind of like you have a certain version of what your life's gonna be.
Yeah,
But you roll the dice on this other type of life, and you hope it works out. And it sounds like it is for you. And
yeah, no, it's for
me,
sure it's working out, man. It's great, you know. I always said, man, like the best way to have kids is unplanned. Like,
fuck it.
Anybody who plans to have kids, like, you got to be crazy, man. Like,
well, we're lucky too to have good partners, right?
For sure, and that's the most important thing, man. Is the family support. Like,
Jesus, dude.
Like my mom, we're playing this weekend at Gain Fest on Friday. My mom's taking the kids for Friday and Saturday. She's taking them for 2 days, you know, like, and my parents are so supportive. Like,
they've always been,
They know I love it. Like, as much as probably when I was first starting and like, hey, like, I'm going to take a run at this. And they're like, oh, come on. Like, you know,
At first they were like that?
My dad was a career railroader, you know, hey, why don't you get a job at the railroad? You know, like, come on, man, I can get you a good job. And it's just like, I want my own path. Like, I want to be in a band. I want to play shows. I want to just like vagabond it. You know what I mean?
Must be so weird for your parent, or at least your father, to visualize that, because he wasn't an artist, right?
No, for sure, not at all, man. That guy was like a 19-year-old immigrant from Portugal who could speak English and just like grinded his way to like the top echelon of the railroad. Like,
when did it change for him to like realize that this is important for you?
I'd say like at about 25, we bought our first tour van. Like, we had our old little Safari that we'd bought off Luke's mom at the time. And it was good. Like, you know, our first tour, we went out east 10 days, just went down to Halifax and back.
Word, yeah.
It was solid. We played like Gus's. We played the Pavilion in the park there. We played.
So he saw that it's like, oh,
like
my son is applying that maybe same work ethic that I use.
Yeah, for sure.
For something
to
I don't
something he actually
understand.
likes. Yeah, and it's like, you know, and just, you know, always through high school, like, they bought me a guitar when I was a kid. So it's not like they weren't like, you don't play music, you know, like, they bought me guitars, they bought me amps, they bought me pedals, they like, they let me play as loud as I want in my room. Like, in high school, we used to be able to take the drum kit home in grade 9 and 10. So
From the school?
From the school.
Oh, what?
So they'd give 2 students the drum kit for the summer.
What?
And you'd get it for a month, and then the other student takes it for the other month.
What? That's
so
awesome.
I got it 2 summers in a row.
How do you, like, you just sign up for it?
Just like you sign up for music class, and then you just ask the teacher. And, you know, at 14, 15 years old, most parents like, hey, Mom, can I have a drum set at home for a month?
I see. Nope.
Fuck no.
Fuck Mr. Dutton.
Yeah, fuck that shit, you know? So, no, my parents were, like, totally supportive of me playing music, right? Like, just want to give you as much things as a kid. They want to give you the best life possible because they never had the best life, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, they supported it. And it's just like, as I got older, 25, we bought that big old dirty GMC van. It's like, but it was almost pretty much new.
Yeah.
And I told my dad we bought it, and he was like, come on, seriously? Like, what are you doing? And I pulled up with it in the driveway, and he was just like, yo, this van's sick. Like, this van's mad nice. Like he's thinking that we bought some, like, Chevy 1500 with, like, the fucking tiger painted on the side or something, you know? Like, he's like, what did you buy? And then he saw it, and he was just like,
cool.
Damn, you're going to do this, eh? And then our first tour was, the big one was 06.
And that's no joke, man. To, like think of your kid leaving... And, like, you've done it, but just try to... I think of that, like, how my parents perceived when I was gone. Like, just that must have been so crazy for them.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
My little boy is in a van in fucking Vancouver right now.
Across the country, just driving around, playing shows. And I called him every 4 or 5 days. Just, hey, how's it going? You know, like... Fuck, I remember calling my dad on the first time I called my dad, and I talked to him because he was at work. He worked away from home a lot. Fuck, we had a little cry on the phone, man. And he was like, I'm proud of you. Like,
That's awesome.
This is awesome. Like,
that's so dope.
You're following your dream. Like, just keep at it. Like, be safe and keep at it. So, like, you know.
That must have meant so much.
Yeah,
too.
for sure, man. Like, once my parents kind of, like, embraced it and, like, the tattoos. Like, I see pictures of myself in high school with, like, bare arms, and it's just like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like, I look so weird. Like,
Well, it's such a huge part of your identity.
Yeah,
right?
for
As
sure,
music
for
is
sure.
too. That's
Yeah.
so like this whole support system for this shit is so important.
Massive.
And like I think of this with Viv, where it's just like it's almost like a lotto. Like I won the lotto to find
Yeah.
someone
Oh,
who
absolutely.
accepts me for who I am.
Yeah.
All my and not that I have all these crazy hang-ups, but
No.
this isn't. I'm not offering much.
No.
You know, like I need to leave and I need to put time into this, and I have a passion that you not inherently are competing with, but like I can't live without this.
No, yeah.
So it must be hard to be
It's-
with someone like this. You
Yeah.
know, like us, who's like we have this other thing that's like really crucial.
I'm pretty stubborn. So it's like, you know, like not much compromise. Like,
Well,
you know, like, don't get me wrong. Like nowadays, you know, if something important comes up where it's like we have a
Yeah.
dinner or something, like, you know, I'm not going to stop it. But like, you know, back in the day, it was like, hey, you want to go to my grandma's house? Nah, we got a show in Ottawa. Like,
yeah.
sorry. Like, I know I committed to this play that your grandma bought tickets for all of us, but we just picked up a 6 show in Ottawa and
Yeah.
I got to go.
And you're still
Like,
with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me and Julie have been together for 14, 15 years, man.
Great, man. Well,
And it's just, you know, sure, I'm stubborn and I don't really compromise. Like, music's my identity. Like, you met me in a band. It kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's what a relationship is about. It's give and take, right? Like,
It is for sure, man. And there are times where I feel like just crazy lucky because it slowed down tons. It really
Yeah.
has.
Oh,
but
yeah.
before our house, like I was taking a lot. Like I'm
Yeah.
fucking off. I'm
Yeah.
taking this opportunity, and
Yeah, for sure.
and yeah, luckily for me, I have found someone who's
Supportive,
down,
yeah.
supportive, man. That shit's so
It's huge.
crucial.
It's huge. Without
So
the support of my
imagine-
family, it's not possible.
No doubt, man.
Not possible.
I'm lucky too. My parents too. They like my dad helped us buy that trailer. I still have.
Yeah, yeah.
I fucking still have it. That's
Yeah.
the trailer I moved here with. And my pops, like, I don't really. He's an immigrant. Like, we were first. Like, they came up,
Yeah.
and I really don't understand why they supported it. I really don't, because
It's the dream, baby. That's the North American dream. You can do whatever you want in this
guess,
country, right? Like,
maybe, yeah.
and that's part of the reason why I feel my parents moved here is that, you know, they both lived in the
Huh.
Azores on an island in the middle of the ocean, and their families, like my grandparents brought my parents here, and it's take over the world, man. Like
Yeah. I always think though, like, because if our parents were like, we came here to give you guys a better life,
Yeah.
which you're throwing away that opportunity because you're gonna go play music, which is confusing because they weren't that way. They were
No.
like, no, like
Yeah.
I'll help you get your trailer. Let's get your van ready.
Yeah,
and
for
fucking
sure.
go on tour.
Yeah, yeah,
Call
absolutely.
us.
Which is crazy, you know.
It is crazy.
If I would have said to my parents, "Hey, man, you want to help me out? Buy me a tour?" No, that's like they were pretty much the way they treated it at first was like, "You want to do this? Do it. Like, do it. You know, go ahead, do it." But you know, my parents have bought me a guitar in my older age, 25, bought me a nice Gibson, you know, just to be like, here, like it was used, but
Well, they
found it-
want. I think that now when I think about it, they want to see you happy, right?
absolutely.
Your parents care about
Ultimately,
you.
it's all about the happiness. We were joking on at practice on Monday, and they were just like, well, most parents would be like, you know, as long as you're in school, you can live rent free. You know what I mean? And like they're like, you on the instance for Rebelo, you're gonna be like, Ethan, as long as you're in a touring band, you can live at home
Yeah,
rent free.
I'll support
you know
you,
what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
fuck, eh?
I'll book your shows. I'll fucking, and this is what like really ultimately what I'm trying to do for this scene is for him.
Yeah.
I want to pass the torch. I want to
Yeah.
say like, all right, Dad's 50. I'm sick of booking these shows. I'm sick of dealing with kids. You're like 20. This is yours.
But now,
Take the name. Take whatever you want. Like, just keep it alive.
what? Because we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
We have kids, and the music's important. But like, how do you paint it in your head if he's like, it just doesn't want to do it?
It's fine. It's fine. It's his choice. He'll pick something he wants to do. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't really force a kid to do something. You can, but
No.
you can't, you know?
Well, we fell into this naturally.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I fell into it naturally. Like I didn't start playing guitar and music till I was about 14, 15.
Like I feel like if my parents would have pushed me, I probably would have turned away from it. So I'm definitely not trying
Yeah.
to push Tay. I'm making it available. But like, I'm curious too for your backstory too.
Yeah.
Like, so you're 14.
Yeah, so I was
How
in,
do you-
I was
how
in
do you-
grade school, and like obviously any kid from about grade 6 on, like was just digging music, man. I've always dug music as a kid. Like I was dancing to Michael Jackson at 2 years old. Like just like, oh yeah. My parents took me to see Michael Jackson when I was 2.
You saw Michael Jackson?
Yeah, dude. Exhibition Stadium. 2 years old. Thriller tour, bro. Bam. OG. I don't remember a single thing of it, but my mom tells me all the time. She's just like, you were dancing in the aisleways.
Funny,
you had this little red leather jacket on. Like,
God.
I was like, Michael.
So your parents had it around, sort of. And
Music was huge in our house, man. My parents always listened to music, man.
Did your parents play at all?
No, my dad swears he played bass, but I was like, I don't believe that shit for a second, man. You didn't play no bass.
It's like my dad saying, like, yeah, I used to run marathons and do. I was like a soccer star. It's like,
yeah.
My
dad was a soccer star too. Yeah, I played for the junior team in Portugal. I was the goalie. He used to say, and I'd just be like, come on, you goalie.
So it was just around. And
yeah, it was just around. I had
kids.
friends. My one friend, James Bourne, man. I'll remember this kid forever. We went to our first concert on our own together.
Huh? What was it?
Went to see Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Like we were into old school music. We listened to like Creedence Clearwater Revival, and like we were just into things like the Who and the Doors.
So
and
homie and you went to go see them.
Yeah. My parents bought us the tickets, and my mom drove us down to Molson Amphitheater. I think I was probably 16 when I went to see like my first show like on my own kind of thing. And yeah, they dropped us off, and we went into the venue. We were on the lawn. Watched Page and Plant pretty much play Zeppelin songs the whole time. And then, yeah, my mom picked us up out front. But, yeah, so in grade 8, my buddy James was, like, playing guitar. A bunch of my friends were playing guitar. And I'd go over to his house, and I was just like, I want to play an instrument. Like, I tell my parents, I want to learn how to play an instrument.
Whatever.
So I picked drums at first. So that's when I had first 2 years of high school. I had the drums at home. And then neighbors calling the cops because it's too loud. And it's like, I'm playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and like, come on, it's not that loud. Like, it's loud, and
I'm not that good.
And that's it, right? And that's when it comes down to listening to somebody learn to play drums.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
But when they get it, it's like, damn. So I picked it up pretty quick. I had a natural, a knack to just like, you know, the old
Yeah.
You know, I was like, damn, I played a beat. This is crazy. And then my parents were just like, hey, like, we can't get you drums. Like, do you want a guitar? And I was just like, fuck it, sure, give me a guitar. So then I got me a guitar, put me in lessons right away, and yeah, just
crazy. Yeah, there's like, it's when you're a kid and it's a hook. It just because like some kids,
it sinks you, man.
Turn into because
skateboarding, sports, math,
athletics,
math, science, whatever, man.
We're all like gonna end up doing something.
Yeah,
not all of us actually. I feel maybe most of the general population don't find anything.
No.
And some people find something that they'll do as a kid. Yeah, they'll do for the rest of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even as simple as like reading books. Someone who loves to read books as a kid, they'll have a giant library when they're old and dead. It's always fascinating, man, to think back. And for our kids, I wonder, man.
I've never pushed my son to play instruments. He's always just been like, Dad, I want a guitar. Dad, I want drums.
And I wonder, him going to that show.
Oh, bro.
How old is he?
He's 8.
8?
Yeah. Turned 8 in January.
Go to a fucking show when I was 8?
Yeah, no. And that's it, right? Like, he's right into it, man. Like,
I wonder what that would be like to be 8 and watching your dad play.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember watching my dad play hockey.
Yeah.
He doesn't play hockey.
No,
he played the dads.
Yeah,
and he's like a Latin guy from Costa Rica who's never stepped on the ice. So I had I knew my dad work. You know your dad's work. You see them work. But that's nothing. To see your father do something different, like when he played hockey, it was like he was terrible and it didn't really, have an impact on me. But I wonder if I was 8 or whatever age I was and saw my dad ripping a show, like that Scout Hut show was packed.
Yep.
I feel like we played well. So, and he's super young, so we probably won't remember it. But even for your kid, like,
that kid remembers everything. That kid remembers shit from when he was like 2.
Yeah.
The kid's got like a brain. I don't know what it is. He's so super smart. Like,
and I wonder for your kid too, like maybe he does have is hyper aware of what it is. Like, this is performance art.
Yeah, and like for sure, like when I brought him to the first one, the wife brought him. We set up and all that first. It was busy. Second one, I was just like, you're coming at 4 o'clock, buddy. Like, you're going to see what goes into this.
Word.
I want you to see it. I want you to see how we set up, what we have to do, what we have to do to get prepared. Like, and he loves it. He just loves it. Like, the kid loves music, man. Like, he listens to that Rebelo record all the time. Like, it's in his CD player. It's not even in my house. Like,
I just got a tape player for Tay, and because I have like a good little stock of cassettes now, and it's like a format that he can't really destroy. Like a CD he'll drop, and a record he's gonna probably fuck up. So we'll see how he takes
figures
that
out
in.
that the tape comes out of the center. And
he did the first time he got one. He did pull it apart a bit, but just like our kids, if they do decide to do music, and they're seeing like the Scout Hut show, so your son saw a successful show, but it becomes a kind of different question when it's like, I don't know how to explain to you what it's like to be on tour and to be hungry and to be sad and to be questioning your life choices if you choose to do this.
Absolutely.
It's not all awesome.
No, for sure. And it's like he's a little young to know that it's not all awesome, you know what I mean? But like,
which might weigh
it's part of it, man. Like, I always found, like, you know, on that big tour we did, we played 19 shows. I would say maybe 3 of them were packed.
Yeah, no, it sounds normal.
Man, those 3.
Where were they?
Or
was like one of them at least?
Vancouver, Pub 340.
Okay.
It's 340 or 360?
360, I think.
360 is a Pub 360?
That's a good question.
I thought it was 340.
It might be 340.
I thought it was 340, but whatever.
I think you're right, 340.
So yeah, we played that one, and that was off the hook. Like, we played, and Chai Pig from SNFU.
Oh, word, yeah.
I'm at the merch table, and he just comes up, and he's just like, "Hey, man, I'm Chai Pig," and I was like, "Well, duh!" Like, I know exactly who you are. He goes, "Man, I really liked your stuff." I was like, "Here's a CD, dude. Like, just take this. Please take this." Like, and he's just like, "You want to get a picture?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Like, just whatever, man. I don't need no picture." Like, like, no. It was just like, whoa, fucking Chai Pig likes my band. This is fucked. And then Gus's was rad. Halifax was always good to us. And then Loft from Hell, buddy.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Montreal, dude. Yeah. We had a love affair with Loft from Hell, man. They would book us all the time. We would just do a day trip. Like, we would go out on a Friday night. We'd try and score something in Kingston or Ottawa. If we didn't, whatever.
We
just sleep in Port Hope, and then drive to Montreal, just knowing that Loft from Hell is going to be off the hook.
Man, yeah, that was a dope spot for sure.
Yeah, man, that place was sick.
You ever do Death House?
No, I've heard about Death House though. I heard it's not the nicest.
No bueno.
Yeah.
That depends. I don't know. Weird times at that venue.
It's called Death House, man. Like
Shawnee, the guitar player from Sabatini's got one story in particular about he was running a show there for some friends, and these just fucking crust shitheads almost got his head caved in.
Yeah, man. Gutter punks, man.
But our kids, when I think about if they're gonna do this, like, our parents weren't really able to give us any advice as to what to do on the road and how to manage a band. Your experiences, like, what do you think would be the best advice you could give your kid if he's like, I'm in an original band, we're gonna go on our, like, they're starting out and they could have a whole lifetime of playing music. It's actually, I'm thinking of that too. Like, I don't know what the fucking one piece of advice
honestly
would be.
Play every show like it's fucking 100 people in the room. It's the way I've always just looked at it. Like, can be one kid in the room, there could be 2 people in the room. You're going to get my all. You're going to get 120, 150%. I'll leave it all on the table.
Yeah, I think that would make me come to the conclusion to say just to appreciate it while you're doing it.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like,
because it could stop at
any second. It's the most fun. It's like,
it's so much fun.
It's a bond. You have homies and you meet so many new friends, and it's like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like, it's the best experience.
It really is.
I can't think of anything else in my life that was more important than like touring and learning like that. It made me grow. Yeah. You're away from home. You're not safe. Like Vancouver, all right?
Safe,
like, we always had a rule. One person stays with the van. You want to go do touristy shit? That's fine. 3 of you can go. Somebody's staying, So one night in Vancouver, we park right across the street from Pigeon Park. Maine and Hastings, bro. Like
yeah.
we're talking crackhead central.
gnarly,
Like,
yeah.
so I'm just laying on the futon in the van. I'm watching some South Park on my computer. The boys are out drinking around town. All of a sudden, some dude puts his face up on our van window. And I'm just like, look up. He doesn't see me. And I'm like, oh, no, this is going to go bad. So I bang on the window, and we had a pellet gun with us, right? So I pull this thing out from under the seat, and I point it right at his face. I'm just like, you better get the fuck out of here, buddy. And he's just like, whoa, man. You're parked in a really dangerous neighborhood. And I was like, that's why I'm holding a rifle, asshole. And I was just like, start the van, start driving. And I'm just like, phone. I don't care how much is this going to cost me. Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Fuck.
We need to go. We need to leave. We need to leave. Like,
I love that shit. It's funny now, but at the time, I'm sure it was not
it
funny
was just like, oh my
all.
God. Like,
Same thing happened to Muskie, my buddy who plays in BP Guan. Fuck, they were in the States somewhere. He was sleeping in the van, had the window cracked. It's the vans where you kind of pop the thing and it just slides out a bit. Someone he was in the van. Someone reached in. And so he freaked out. I think he punched the guy's arm.
Yeah.
In my head, he bit it, but he didn't bite it.
I would have bit
punched it. And then he had a knife on him. Like, he pulled the knife. Like my buddy, like Muskie, pulled the knife, and homie like went out in front of the van, and they had this like kind of quick standoff. But yeah, it's like shit you don't really want to tell your parents
man, and
about
like
the road.
you fucking see it all the time, where you just see a Facebook post on the internet, on social media, where it's like, hey, our van got broken into. They stole all our computers and bags and gear. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, it is a good question of like.
From day one, like, just logically as a human, like, my gear costs so much money. Yeah. It's not leaving my sight.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
you should really be better with that, man.
It's tucked in a corner at a venue. And if it's in a venue, somebody's staying behind. Yeah. Like, someone's missing the fun. You know what I mean?
It's better to play it safe. I'm really, now that I think about it, hearing all this, it's like, buddy, we're fucking terrible for that. Like, loading in and loading out, we're pretty safe, but
yeah,
like,
for sure.
We'll totally fuck off after the gear is in the venue and go get dinner.
I think in the venue's one of those things where it's like you would hope no one's just going to walk out with your stuff.
Until it happens.
Until it happens. And it happens, man. Like, it's dirty. I hate to hear it. But it happens, and I've always just been like, "That's all right." I gotta watch my stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and
well, imagine it all disappears.
Even when we're packing, right? Like, it's an assembly line. Usually, one guy sits outside and packs the van, and the others just.
Well, that's what's tricky with Rebelo. We're just a two-piece.
Two, yeah. So it's one goes in.
Yeah.
One goes in.
We have a little system that we do, but it's definitely kind of tricky. Man, it's funny. I really haven't touched on any of these questions, which is great. I love when this shit happens.
Yeah,
just
for sure, man.
The shit. What is like a worst show that comes to mind? Something that was like
worst show,
like a good story that if your son's like, Dad, what was the worst show you ever played?
Oh man, worst show I ever played, Saskatoon. I think it was Saskatoon or Regina, somewhere in that.
One of the two.
One of those two.
One of the only two.
They're both the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played at this club. We got there. It was a Monday night, which was kind of like...
Yeah, already like... Okay.
Yeah, already. It's Monday.
Yeah.
And it was a week before the Fringe Fest in Saskatoon. So really nobody's booking anything. They're all promoting the Fringe Fest. And yeah, we get to Saskatoon and we get in the bar. And I was like, hey, we're playing here tonight. And they're just like, what? And then like 3 more bands show up. Like,
what?
Hey, we're playing here tonight. And the bar's like,
what?
And like, it's no coincidence. Like, you know, if one band shows up and it's like, we're playing here tonight, and they go, nah, man, nobody booked this, but 4 bands showed up.
Wow.
And then the guy who was running the bar was like the promoter kind of sort of booked this show, but never confirmed with anybody. Promoter didn't show up. Like, he didn't even come, man. There was no posters anywhere. So we're chilling at this venue all day because we got there super early.
Do you remember the venue? I guess if you don't remember the city,
nah,
remember
I don't remember the venue.
Yeah.
It was an underground venue.
Chilling there all
It was
day.
good though, man. The people the bartender was really nice. So Jägermeister just dropped off an order for them. So all this free promo stuff, all this free promo Jäger to give out for the weekend and stuff like that. So the bartender's got this book, like Jägermeister shots.
Okay.
Different ones mixed with different liquors. Like, So he's like, I'm wearing a Ghost of Modern Man hoodie.
Oh, they played Fort Francis.
Damn.
Yeah, before I moved here.
Crazy.
Yeah, okay,
So I'm
wow.
wearing a Ghost of Modern Man hoodie, and the bartender goes, yo, man, my cousin's the drummer in that band. And I was just
Wow.
like, well, your cousin's band is sick. And so, like, we're just chilling, and he goes, hey, man, you want to do some shots? And I'm just like, are they free? And he goes, yeah, totally.
Wow.
So me and the bartender are just like, we're like root beer, schnapps, and Jägermeister. Try this one. Boom. Fucking boom. Like, I slammed probably 10, 20 shots down,
Jesus.
and then I got to play. I am a fucking polluted mess. Like, Matt Davey is fucking having a conniption fit because I am just like, yeah, fuck. So we're playing, I'm rocking the fuck out, step on my patch cord, unplugs, you know, then I'm fucking drunken mess trying to plug it back in.
Fuck,
it was just like, it was a band show. We played to a bartender and bands.
But you got drunk for free.
I got drunk for free. It was a great time.
Right. That sounds like the best show ever.
Yeah. In terms of show wise, yeah.
That's
But
good.
yeah, like other than that, like I've always had fun. Like
That's good,
I've
man.
always gone into it with an open mind where it's like, band show.
Then they happen.
At least I'm not fucking
Yeah.
hanging out at Tim Hortons.
Word. And the thing now, if those shows happen, they're a little harder to swallow because it's like, I could be at home. Whereas
Yeah,
before it's like,
yeah.
well, at least I'm not in Cambridge at my band house.
Frank Dux had one of those in St. Thomas recent, like one of our probably our third or fourth show.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we got to the venue and they booked 3 out of town bands. I walk in the venue, nicest venue I've ever seen.
You're like,
Like
we
I
shouldn't
walked
be
in and
here.
I was just like, yo, how many times has Kim Mitchell played here?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like this sound system is
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
Like drummer had 2 monitors, 6 monitors across the front, sick lights. They had plugs
Yeah.
built into the carpet on the
Yeah.
stage
You're
right
like,
in
we
front of you.
shouldn't
I
be
was
here.
just like, what are we doing here?
I know
Like,
what you're saying.
and so yeah, we played and there was nobody there and just like, you know, one of our members was really bummed about it and was just like, what are we doing here?
Ah, it makes sense
I
though.
could be home with my kids. And I
That's
was
it.
just like you've never played a band show before, dude? Like, I was like, 9 times out of 10, this is probably what it's going to be like, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
It changes the before it used to be you could swallow that easy.
yeah.
'Cause it's like
now
I am playing a
it's-
show.
Yeah, it sucks.
But luckily you have a home life that makes it like, oh, this actually does suck because fuck
Yeah.
this show.
yeah, I could
would
be at
literally
home
rather
fucking,
be at home.
yeah, watching fucking
sitting on my ass.
Netflix and fucking smoking.
I don't need to do another. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I don't need to do another one of these shows.
And that's like the funny thing is I've just finally personally looked and booked our first 2 shows in almost a year.
Mhm.
Like it's just been offer,
That's great.
offer,
That's great. Yeah.
offer. Like I've turned down 10 shows in the last couple months.
Think of you
Just
as like 14 years old, talking to you now, and you're like, yeah, man, like I haven't really had to book a show for a while, and like
Yeah.
I've only put $25 into this band.
Yeah,
your
which is-
mind would just explode.
Like, and that's it, man. Like it just like we're not even trying. Like we really aren't. Like, yeah, we're having fun. We're writing music. We're committed to practicing twice a week together.
But it's kind of like what it should be, I think.
I don't
man.
even care. Like it's like we don't care. Like
Yeah,
we
it
play the show, great. We don't, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not. There's no pressure.
Yeah, way less pressure to like make it because there's realistic like I have a home and a family to raise
Yeah.
and that's always gonna be there. So this other stuff is bonus points, but my life does like I'm not living in the jam hall and this
No.
is everything that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
No.
That's
this is,
fucking
this,
terrifying.
This is the escape, right? The jam hall's the escape room for me.
Yeah, it's really
You know,
nice, man.
it's
funny
great.
being here. We've been here like 10 years.
Yeah,
10
no
years
shit.
almost to the day.
I've been on and off in this building probably for about the same 10.
Kenny, all love to Kenny.
Ken Bullard.
The
I'm gonna
best.
buy this place. That's my goal.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Literally, like I'm just like, fuck it. When you're ready to sell, Ken, like you please talk to me first.
Yeah.
I cannot let a developer tear this down and build a condo.
Well, what other jam halls are there? I don't think
Kitchener,
there's
I
any
think.
in around.
I've
in
heard
Cambridge.
I've heard of one in like the industrial area of Sheldon and Pine Bush.
Okay, I've been to one that was there.
Yeah, I don't know
But-
if it's still operable.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still there.
And if it is, I think it's more hourly than anything.
I don't know. Dude, I do these about an hour,
Mhm.
and I do the Hibzine, which I'll play some of you guys'
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
I wanted to play the Monday matinee.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fitting to the theme of everything we've
Yeah,
been
for
talking
sure.
about. So shit, this is I'll put it in here. I'll put it in after the fact because I'll have to edit it. But this is Frank Dux. We didn't even. I don't think we said your band name, but
No.
Rebelo plays in Frank Dux.
Yeah.
Frank Dux Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, not bad. Frank Dux Punk.
Frank Dux Punk.
Yeah.
I'll put the description in the
There's
the bio.
There's a DJ that's got Frank Dux. DJ Frank Dux.
Don't well, I guess whatever. Support whoever the fuck you want. But this, I'll put this in here. This is Monday Matinee.
April 24th, 2000, when I took that trip downtown. Monday matinee, never thought about it, cause it's such a change. 6 months got me through the door and a big old job opened the show and tell me why Dave Nichols was so great. Next up to guys read about how we got to shelter the children with such anger and disdain. Well, the music came like a ton of bricks and the floor was shaking. Well, when the kids circle around the room, shoulder down and I hit the ground and I'm soon surrounded to be picked back up, placed back on my feet. Respect to go back to 15, handheld plane, they were still ticking. It was the first and last time I heard Mike's refrain. Another joke capped off the show with a villain drummer, but you never know. I still wonder what would have happened if Moline had played. Well, the music hit like a ton of bricks and the floor was shaking. What way the kids circle around the room, shoulder down and I hit the ground and I'm soon surrounded to be picked back up, placed back on my feet to start again. On that day I felt a change and my life would never be the same. A simple punk show changed my world. With football time and a T-rip card, I was ready to go inside a war. But first I'd have to get picked up.
That was Monday Matinee by Frank Dux. Fuck, I don't know, man. How do people find your stuff? FrankDukes.bandcamp.com. Or sorry,
Yeah, Frank Dux Punk. Every social media is Frank Dux Punk.
Okay, word.
That's how you find it.
And the Pink Lemonade Records.
Yeah.
We didn't really touch too much on that, but that is Pink Lemonade Records .bigcartel.com.
.com. Yeah.
What's next for that? Like,
I think we're going to expand our roster.
Yeah.
I think that's we're actually meeting on this Friday. Me
Word.
and Derek are getting together during the day after I
Okay.
drop the kids off at school tomorrow. And we're going to sit down. We're going to crunch numbers. And
this is something I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Where a label, because everyone's looking for a label.
Yeah.
Like, since you guys have popped up, have people started
Yeah, man.
hitting you up?
Yeah.
I feels like a promoter. Like,
It's
if you're like,
crazy.
I'm a promoter. You
Yeah,
get
it's like
1,000
you start a
emails.
record label and everybody wants you to put out their shit. And it's just like, it's overwhelming because it's like, I really do want to put out your shit.
Yes.
But, like,
there's logistics.
I don't got much money, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
po as fuck, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and we're trying to make it so that it's almost like a 50-50 with the band. Like, we'll put in money, you put in money, we do this together.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Whatever, you can keep your Bandcamp. That is yours.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want to touch your personal stuff. If people want to go to your Bandcamp and buy your music from you, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. To us, it's associating our name with good music.
Man, that's great.
It's
That's
not even money. Like,
Yeah.
we
That's
know
a good
we
MO.
know we're going into the red and it's inevitable. We don't care. It's not about money.
Yeah. Well, fuck. If people listening, I was gonna say like we could hit up Rebelo, but whatever. If anything, might get some music
Yeah,
from
send
people.
music, man.
Yeah.
Send music.
If
we
not,
we
whatever.
want to listen to music. Like, We try and offer bands digital distribution, so we'll put you on Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah, and I
Google
can speak,
Play,
yeah,
Amazon.
personally, like working with you guys has been fucking great.
Yeah, it's
been
sweet.
it's been pro, it's been seamless, it's been like nice. It's nice working with
great.
people who
Yeah.
take it serious, and because we do, right?
Yeah,
so,
for sure, man.
so
It's all about being serious sometimes, right? Like it's
it
fun,
has to
but
be
it's serious
sometimes.
fun. Like
Yeah, no, it's been fucking really
Yeah.
great, man. And like I really just wanted to catch up, you know, because
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's nice to see you more, and,
yeah,
and
for
to
sure,
like,
man. Just be back into it.
and you're doing really good work, man. You're
I
doing a
missed
really
it.
good
I missed
shit.
it so much. Like so much.
Oh fuck, man. Hopefully
Like-
it keeps up.
Such a better human now that I'm back into music. You know what I mean? Like not as miserable.
I hear
like
you, man.
something to look forward to.
I hear you.
Besides, obviously, you look forward to seeing your kids and
No, but
taking them to their sports and all that. But it's like
there's no denying that this shit's important to us.
personal. That's it, man. It's
Yeah.
personal importance.
So Frank Dux, punk.bandcamp.com, Pink Lemonade Records. I guess just search that on Facebook. I'll have
Yeah.
all the fucking
Oh
links
yeah,
in the
Twitter. We had all kinds of stuff.
yeah. All the links are in the bio. I don't know. Let me close this off. Just
Yeah.
I was about to say stay on the line because I usually do these remotely, but you're here. So this is Take Her Wide, guys. This is fucking 211 with Scott Rebelo. Go support Frank Dux. Go check out Pink Lemonade Records. And if you can rate and review and subscribe, tell a friend. The show is slowly growing, so tell people about it. The Instagram is Take Her Wide Podcast. I'm posting old episodes. Trying to think of other shit that's really relevant. Oh, sponsors, I guess. Jesus. This was brought to you by Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota in Kitchener. If you guys are looking for a vehicle, if you are unsure about it, and I can vouch for Kevin. He's a trustworthy dude. He's been my friend pretty much since I moved. He actually threw a show for Pulse. Remember Pulse?
Pulse. Oh, Adam Cherry's band, wasn't that
remember
what that
those
was? That guy had the sickest cymbals, that drummer, man. All the cymbals had like holes
Yeah,
and like
they had holes.
fucking screws in them and shit.
Fuck. Rigo, I think he threw that show. I've known Rigo forever, and you know, absolutely have no issues sending people his way. So if you're in Kitchener and need a fucking used or new vehicle, go see Rigo. Also brought to you by DaveLevittPhotography.ca for sick photos. Also brought to you by DapperBeardOil.com. That's Andrew. That's for your nice, fancy smelling beard oil. Go support the homie. Use promo code TakerWide free ship for the free shipping. Fucking Christ, I might have to edit this because I might have forgotten another one.
We're drinking Wellies right
we're
now.
drinking Wellies, yeah. I need a re-up. I got to talk to homie.
Jacob,
Yeah.
get us some Wellies, Jacob.
Go grab a Welly. I had the Upside IPA and you had the
SPA.
Yeah. And that's it. Just subscribe, tell your friends, and I think that's all. I don't know. Me and whoever else will be back next week, and that's it. Be safe. Love you guys. Just take a ride.